JRA2, a bike from a brand European riders might recognize but newer to us in the US, Head Bikes. Head sells direct to consumers via their website, and the JRA2, their entry-level mountain bike priced at $499.99. At least for most people, but you're watching KevCentral. I got a coupon code from Head for KevCentral viewers. It takes 20% off that price. Or you can click the link down in the description and it will automatically apply the coupon code to anything you buy from the Head website. For the JRA2, that 20% off means the bike costs under $400. $399.99 to be exact, and that definitely puts it in the price range of the budget offerings often seen here on KevCentral. What makes Head different though, as you'll see very much, bike shop quality, but also this bike available in sized frames: small, medium, large, and extra large. Note here that they say medium is sized for riders 5'5" to 5'8". Well, I'm 5'10", but I like frames in the 17-inch size, and this medium frame 17.25 inches. So that's what I chose. But let's look more at their site because I really like this. It gives a good summary of what this bike is and an honest description of what it's designed for, along with what Head says are the JRA2's key features, and a rundown of almost every component on the bike, including a full geometry spec sheet, complete with a head tube angle for each frame size and standover height. Nice to know when shopping for a bike over the internet, even reach and stack info. So shoppers can get all the info they need, well, almost all. If you want to get a good look at the bike and an honest analysis, you come here. Because you know I'm going to give you all the details that a description can't. Or at the very least, augment what it does tell you. For instance, we know that the specs say that these bars 680 millimeters and 30.8 diameter. But here you can see that they are branded Head and they have centering and incremental adjustment markers, which I wish all bars had. The website also says this bike has micro shift 3x8 shifters. Those shifters also have a selection view window, and they are trigger shifters. Brake levers alloy, the specs told us that, and that the grips are rubber, but it didn't say what type. They are slip-on grips. I'll be referencing classic mountain bikes a lot in this review because it reminds me of a 2003 to 2015 era mountain bike in many ways. For instance, most bikes are getting away from the long stems. This stem 80 millimeters. The JRA2 also has a straight head tube, but I'll get more into that in a moment when I talk about the frame. For now, let's see more of the components, like the fork. This bike is made for bike paths and very light trails, so it doesn't need a lockout, so they equipped it with dual preload adjusters. Stanchions 28 millimeters, fork travel 100. Fork branding Head, but this is made by SR Sun Tour, meeting my expected entry-level minimum. 27.5, that's the wheel size and my current favorite. The wheels, double wall alloy rims wrapped with 27.5 by 2.25 tires. These tires have textured sidewalls and Head branding. Tread, technically knobbies, but more for bike path. Pedals are the most basic of the plastic variety, but they do have integrated reflectors. Crank arms, alloy, Pro Wheel branded, their size 170 millimeters. We know already that this bike has a 3x drivetrain, and the 3 up front is a 42, 34, 24 tooth. The front derailleur that's shifting those 3, it's not branded on the bike, but it's a micro shift. Micro shift at the back too. This is a micro shift 26C rear derailleur, which will get the job done, but I've seen these on cheaper bikes. At $400, I start getting a little more picky. However, comparable bikes at the local bike shop will cost $200 or more than this, and they'll have a 3x7 with a freewheel. This 8, it's a cassette, an 11 to 36 tooth cassette. There's also a replaceable derailleur hanger. This drivetrain, it's okay for what this bike is built for. For rider height adjustment, there's a quick release seat post clamp for the Head branded alloy seat post, single bolt tilt adjustment, and a Head branded mountain bike saddle. Let's look at this frame. It's an aluminum frame, and as I've mentioned, sized, this is medium, 17.25 inches. Color scheme, satin black with blue accents, and it has nice welds. This is top notch for the money. And I said earlier, it reminded me of something from 2003 to 2015. That's because of the round on round on round tubes. Down tube, top tube, and seat tube, which is not only familiar to me, but I actually like because this bike's not trying to be anything it's not. No fancy internal cable routing, just a solid classic design. More components, looking at the mechanical disc brakes, a new-to-me brand, Repute. What stands out to me though, and not mentioned by Head, is the pad adjustment dials. Both inner and outer can be adjusted without tools. A nice touch that I really like. The rotors 180 millimeters up front, 160 at the rear, and both wheels, front and rear, quick release. And these hubs, they're both Joytech hubs, also not mentioned by Head. And by the way, the bottom bracket, sealed cartridge. As you can see, nothing fancy, but also a few nice parts and on a frame that, as I've mentioned, looks familiar to me. It not only looks familiar, but the ride is very familiar with just a slight twist as well, because this bike reminds me a lot of my 2003 Trek 4300. I rode that bike on these same trails for years, and the JRA 2, it's like a 27.5 version of that bike. Now that said, full-on mountain bike, this is not, but I think that the shoppers that are going to be looking at a JRA 2 will be looking for it for dirt path riding, maybe around town or maybe to campus. If asked to do a little more, it can, but it will make a little bit of noise while it's doing it. I think this is especially suited for riders that don't like the modern aggressive mountain bike feel. This is more comfortable and maybe more appealing to those that rode in the past and are trying to get back into riding. I would be comfortable riding this anywhere that I would take a Trek 820 or a Trek Marlin 4 or other equivalent local bike shop bike. It's on par with those, just hundreds less, and very similar to the 820's geometry. Yet with better components at a cheaper price. Pair that with the sized frames and the local bike shop build quality, a very competitive offering with shipped to your door convenience. Now this is offered in one color, so if you don't like this black, you're out of luck. And I also want to note, I'm not sponsored. I'm not paid for this. This bike, it's being donated by Head to the local bike trail nonprofit. And as always, here at KevCentral, you get my fair and honest opinion, but now I want your opinion. Do you agree that this has throwback vibes? Do you see the Trek 4300 in it like I do? And also, what do you think about the JRA 2 in general? And have you ever heard of Head bikes before? And by the way, that coupon code, or the link, if you want it to automatically apply the coupon code for you, that's down in the description, and it works for everything on the Head Bikes website. 20% off. So comment below, let me hear your thoughts. Give this video a thumbs up. That helps the channel. Thank you so much for watching KevCentral. Have a great day.